الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد ولقد أرسلنا رسلا من قبلك وجعلنا لهم أزواجا وذرية وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث المبارك أما والله إني لأخشاكم لله وأتقاكم له لكني أصوم وأفطر وأصلي وأرقد وأتزوج النساء فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. صدق الله العظيم. صدق رسول النبي الكريم. My respected brother, elder, youth and sister in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He mentioned in the Quran Kareem, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلًا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Indeed, we have sent the prophets, رُسُلًا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ, before you. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. And we make them as a couple. And there's a hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أَمَا وَاللَّهِ إِنِّي لَأَخْشَاكُمْ لِلَّهِ, that I fear from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala more than you. وَأَتْقَاكُمْ لَهُ, and I have a more than taqwa than you. لَكِنِّي أَصُومُ, but أَصُومُ, I fast. وَأُفْطِرُ, and I break my fast. وَأُصَلِّي, and I pray. وَأَرْقُدُ وَأَتَزَوَّجُ النِّسَاء, and I get married to women. فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي, and whoever refused my sunnah, فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي, he and she does not belong to me or belong to my ummah. So my respected brothers, from last couple of weeks we were learning about the sin, how can we protect ourselves from committing sin, and how can we wipe out our sin. Today, inshallah, we're going to start the new topic from the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today, inshallah, from today we're going to learn the responsibility as a couple. What are the responsibility comes from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala upon the woman, wife, as a wife, and what are the responsibilities come upon the man as a husband and as a parent. The first thing, my respected brothers, we would like to discuss that the spouse, they have to have the respect relationship and the mutual understanding relationship. As we know that, my respected brothers, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned in Hadith al-Mubarakah, there's a hadith of Hazrat Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu in the Bukhari, in Tirmidhi, and all the Sahih Sitta. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was sitting in the Masjid al-Nabawi, and all the Sahaba, all the companions, they were gathered around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So one Sahabi, he stood up and he asked advice from the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about the spouses. And the companion, he asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that, Ya Rasulullah, how the relationship is supposed to be between the husband and the wife. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he replied and he advised that the relationship has to be between the husband and wife, the relationship of the respect. Man has to respect the woman, husband has to respect the wife, and wife has to respect the woman. And there's a hadith of, one more hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she narrated the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she mentioned in the hadith that one day Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was discussing about the relationship between the spouse. So Nabi Kareem Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she said that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is advised on that day to have the respect, the relationship of the respect between the spouses. And then Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she further mentioned in the hadith that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he further mentioned the respect, the relationship of the mutual understanding between the spouses. So my respected brothers, the first of all, there's the ayah of the Quran Kareem, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ, that indeed we have the guidance in the sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. So my respected brothers, if we want to learn more about the relationship between the husband and the wife, we don't need to go anywhere, my respected brother, because we have the guideline and the guidance in the sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The most problem is, my respected brothers, we get married and then we don't pay attention, we don't read the sunnah, we distance ourselves from the Islam, we distance ourselves from the Sharia, we distance ourselves from the seerah, we distance ourselves from the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we don't know that how Allah tabarak wa ta'ala create the relationship between the husband and the wife. This relationship is a beautiful relationship. And the hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the individual who get married, so he and she complete the half of the iman. So according to the hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he taught us that the relationship of the husband and wife is a precious gift from the Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and is a relationship of the respect and the mutual understanding that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he mentioned in the Quran Kareem, that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned in the Hadith of Mubarakah. And as I mentioned that because of don't have the enough knowledge about this relationship, the problems start coming in our life. And because of do not have the knowledge of the sunnah and the sharia, we cannot maintain the balance in this relationship. This, my respected brothers, we have to learn the sunnah and the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We cannot cover everything in one Jummah, two Jummah, three Jummah. For this, my respected brothers, we have to read the sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us about this relationship. And also, my respected brothers, there's an ayat of the Quran Kareem, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nar, that, oh believer, protect yourself wa ahlikum, and your family members, nar, from the hellfire. What does it mean, my respected brothers? It's not only about the man or only about the woman. They both have to protect their self and their family members, their kids, their children from the nar, from the hellfire. How does it come, my respected brothers? The responsibility comes from the both sides, from the husband and the wife. They both have to learn the Sharia, they both have to learn the Quran, they both have to learn the Sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And my respected brothers, the society we are living, we need to learn. We need to learn more about the Islam. We need to learn more about the Quran and the Sunnah if we want to live in this society, my respected brother. Because, my respected brother, our generation, our kids, these are amanah from the Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Either we can use our knowledge of the deen and we can protect our generation, our kids from the hellfire, from the misguidance, or either we can destroy them. That's why Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He mentioned in the Quran Kareem, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. So how these things come, my respected brothers? The first, the husband and the wife, they both have to have the relationship of the respect. They both have to respect to each other. As Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned in the hadith, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He mentioned in the Quran Kareem. So first, my respected brothers, for example, if you are sitting in a gathering, so the husband and the wife, they both have to respect in the gathering. And they have to show the love and the respect to each other in the gathering. Whether they are alone in separate gathering or in the same gathering, they both have to equally respect to each other, and they both have to show the love equally to each other. This is, my respected brothers, we got from the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's one more hadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one day Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sitting in Masjid Nabawi, and the Sahaba, they were all gathered around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was giving advice about the relationship between the husband and wife. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, this is a different hadith, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that the husband and the wife, they both have to respect to each other, even if they are sitting in the gathering, in the majalis. The word of the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used the majalis in the hadith. So what does it mean? That if they are in a gathering between the friend or the relative, they both have to respect to each other. They cannot tease to each other in front of their relative or the friends. Because, my respected brother, when the husband and wife, they don't show the respect, when they don't show the love to each other, so they cannot have the respect even when they are in the house. When they are alone in the house, and when they are alone in front of their kids. And that is, my respected brothers, this is also the one of the point to train our kids as per the Islamic law, Sharia law, as per the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when the husband and the wife, they are going to respect to each other, even in the house, in front of their kids, so their generation, their kids, they are going to learn how to respect to each other, and how to respect the elders, and how to respect the younger. That is the first step, my respected brothers. If we don't respect to our wife, and the wife, they don't respect to the husband in the house, in front of the kids, how come they're going to respect and they're going to show to love in the gathering, in front of their relatives and the friends, as Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us in his hadith and his seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first thing, my respected brothers, to have the relationship First, in the house, in our home. If you're going to respect to each other, and even if you're going to show to love in front of the kids, they will learn how to respect, how to love, how to spread the love. And when our kids, when they reach to the teenager, when they become teenager, then my respected brother, they will also learn how to respect and how to spread the love in this relationship when they're going to get to the marriage. So the first step, my respected brothers, of the respect start from our house, from our home. And the first step to show the love and the respect start from the relationship between the husband and the wife. So my respected brother, inshallah, the time is short. Inshallah, we're going to continue this topic, and we're going to cover this topic next couple of Friday. The first, my respected brothers, we have to learn that we have to, as a husband and a wife, we have to respect to each other. We have to show the love and the value to each other. Even we are in the house alone in front of our kids, even if we are outside in gathering, we are going outside for outing, my respected brothers, we have to show the love and the respect to each other. That's how Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us in his hadith, in his seerah. And there are so many hadiths in the different hadith book, especially in the Sahih Sitta, that how Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us that how can we live with our spouses, how can the husband and the wife, they live happily life and with the respect and with the mutual understanding. All comes from the sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And inshallah, we are gonna cover this topic, and we are gonna cover this point according to the hadith and according to the Quran. May Allah tabarak wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq to have the respect for each other. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq and the opportunity to respect in this relationship. And may Allah tabarak wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq to follow the sunnah and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our life. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Inshallah, we have 5 minutes to pray.